Street raised, I was brought up with a G state. Peep game, those who didn't catch one to your brain. Stay in your lane, never wolfed it, boy, I never fake. Watch them break, watch them fall, still I remain. Never change, never try to come and rearrange. Never hate, never tripping on somebody's plate. That shit is lame, leave that type of shit for the dames. The streets don't play, oh catch up, watch your life as capes. One game, homie, that you shouldn't play. There's real soldiers in the streets gunning every day. This shit is normal in the vital part of every day. It ain't great, but I'm loyal, so I'll never change. I keep repeating, but I mean it, never lose your way. Heed the warning and the missing just for talking brave. Fuck my enemies, two faces and all the snakes. Now for this matter, just name the time and name the place. We'll get it active, fuck the gap, and I'm in face to face. Real gangsters never fold, then we never shake. I was brought up to...
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
Now, as we continue the countdown of all East Side neighborhoods, now we are heading towards the area that is known as San Diego, SD County. San Diego County is already home to a lot of neighborhoods, old school Varrios, powerhouses that have been right here dominating these areas for quite some time. You know what I mean? With, hundreds and hundreds of documented gang members, throughout all these areas, throughout these cities. We have several, East Side neighborhoods, residing in the area of SD. Now, starting off, we shall be covering the largest one, the largest one when it comes to probably the east side of San Diego. It could be debated, but it is known as the Varrio ESD, or ESSD, which is known as the Varrio East Side San Diego, or East San Diego. Either one is appropriate. East Side San Diego is already an old school barrio that has dominated this area for quite some time. Now, this neighborhood is broke up into sub cliques, sub gang cliques that patrol and patrol their own areas. But unlike other neighborhoods, these ones are, united. So I'm going to cover them as a whole instead of individuals. Like how some, gangs, have individual sub-gang, cliques. These are, they do have their own territory, but they're united and fall under the East Side San Diego. So they're just referred to as cliques, but they can be seen either way. Because they have a lot of cliques, because I'm talking about this is an old school barrio that has already been well established here since the 50s and dominate a gigantic portion of territory. We're talking about almost the whole entire east side of San Diego, you know what I mean, is their stomping grounds. Throughout city, even into City Heights, you know what I mean? But you do have other barrios there, like, City Heights or, East Diego mob cribs. But, these are the larger ones. You can find them throughout all of, the east side, on 54th, on Euclid. You can find them throughout Polk Avenue. You can find them throughout University Avenue, Whiteman Street, all of that. You could just find them, spread out throughout that whole entire area. And like I said, they are broken up into, cliques, because they have the gatos, the rascals, the chicos, the dead and locos. They have the Avenue Euclid clique. They have the Evil Boys. The Evil Boys is probably the most recognizable one, probably the larger one. Then you have the DAs, the Diego Aztecs or Deli Aztecs. You know what I mean? They used to be a crew that became a neighborhood. That happens a lot, when neighborhoods, you have tank crews that, just get into neighborhoods and just become cliques off of them. It's a common thing, you know what I mean? So, the more recognizable ones that you do see up of them is the Evil Boys, EBS and the DAs. But like I said, it's a massive neighborhood with members in the hundreds, at least from what I was told, more than 300 members to the East Side San Diego neighborhood. So we're talking about a giant neighborhood that's been already right here doing their thing, continue to still represent theirs and hold it down for the east side of Diego. Now, to find the next neighborhood on the list, but still remaining in San Diego, we actually have to be maneuvering our way to the side of Oceanside. Oceanside is definitely home to a lot of neighborhoods. It definitely cracks in Oceanside. It ain't no joke. And actually, Oceanside is actually home to an old school barrio, powerhouse, probably the most recognizable barrio within the area of Oceanside. When we're talking about sheer, enlargeness and old school, we have the Barrio VPLS. VPLS translating to Barrio East Side Barrio Pozole Locos, Pozole Town. Yes, you heard right, pozole as in the food, pozole. Barrio Pozole is located on the east side of Oceanside. That's why you see it up as East Side Pozole, because they're located on the east side of Oceanside. Pozole Locos is an old school barrio dating back already to the 40s that this neighborhood was established. So the old barrio, well rooted into this community already, and more than 400 members to them. So, like I said, a large old school barrio within Oceanside. They ain't playing right here. You know what I mean? Um, Now, the barrio Pozole, their territory extends everything that's from the 5 freeway. They kind of share the territory with other, barrios like the Crooks, mobster, gangsters, all that. Um, their ter- Another barrio that you have on the list, when we're talking about East Side neighborhoods. Now, for this one, we actually have to now maneuver our way to another well-recognized area, another area that is definitely, gang infested and definitely be treacherous. You know what I mean? One of San Diego's most recognizable areas, which is known as the Barrio East Side National City. Now, Barrio East Side National City is broke up into several sub-gangs. I had already covered them before, from the East Side National City Locals to the Acre Boys to the Block Boys and all of that, you know what I mean? Essentially all representing East Side National City, but being their own sub-gang, cliques. But now, as the Acre Boys just write Acre Boys, or the Block Boys just write Block Boys, the actual, East Side National City Locals actually writes, in their title. So that is their full name, which is known as the East Side National City Locals. And their territory is essentially everything that's from uh, Division Street, all the way to where the freeway's at. From the freeway, their territory extends all the way to Plaza Boulevard. Plaza Boulevard, their territory extends all the way to Harbison Avenue and back around. So all that area is considered their territory. So that's throughout 1st, 2nd, 3rd, throughout 4th, throughout Euclid Avenue that slices through their hood, all the way to 8th. So that's from 1st to 8th. Everything in the middle is considered their territory. That is what's known as the East Side National City Locals neighborhood. Real neighborhood, from what I was told, is roughly about 70 to 80 members to them. And they really do handle business and put it down for. Another neighborhood that we have on the list. Now, for this one, we actually have to maneuver our way out of SD and head into the area that is known as the Desert Empire. The Desert Empire is definitely another area that cracks. The Desert Empire is everything that's referred from what's Palm Springs to Coachella to Indio to Cathedral to all of that, bro. It's considered, Desert Empire. And yes, this is home to one of these East Side neighborhoods. Now, it is known as the Barrio ESP. ESP translating to East Side Palmas. East Side Palmas is a small neighborhood that was well established right here within the Desert Empire. Essentially, now you have the Dream Home neighborhood right there where their neighborhood's at. I've even told that they got, they became, the Dream Home neighborhood. Now I can't, call it if that's true or not. But essentially, the East Side Palmas neighborhood was everything that was from Campedra Road all the way to Ramona. And Ramona, their territory extended all the way to Valle Road. And Valle Road all the way to Mesquite Avenue and back around. Was everything that was their territory. You know what I mean? Which is a pretty decent size of, territory. So that was everything that's throughout, San Antonio, San Rafael, Nueva Vista Drive, Camino, Calle de Carlos. All of that was considered their barrio. You know what I mean? And like I said, they were just roughly a small neighborhood. I was told, roughly about 30 members to them. So not, a large neighborhood, but still a real neighborhood that handled business right here within the area of, East Side Palmas. And, they did their thing. Now, as we make our way out of the Desert Empire and head now to the area that is considered as the Imperial Valley. Imperial Valley is another area which is, treacherous, full of a lot of neighborhoods. Not as much as like other areas, in SoCal, but don't get it twisted. It still be cracking, you know what I mean? These neighborhoods still, even though they're more spread out than other areas, the areas still be popping, you know what I mean? You can still get rolled up, as easy as that. Now we shall be making our way to the area that is known as Brawley. Brawley is definitely an area that is home to several neighborhoods. To be more exact, we shall be heading towards the eastern portion of Brawley, where we can find, the barrio located right here, which is known as the Varrio ESB. Varrio ESB translates to Eastside Brolin, the Chicano way of saying, Brawley. No, not the Dragon Ball Z character. Eastside Brolin is already an old school neighborhood that has already been well established right here in this area. Now, this area is split up into two different Eastside Brolin neighborhoods, which is known as just the Eastside Brolin and the Eastside Brolin Proyectos, the projects. You know what I mean? But Eastside Brolin being the older one, the originators, the ones that held it down. Their barrio is everything that's from the Riverside Drive. Riverside Drive, the territory extends all the way to Old Highway 101. From Old Highway 101 all the way to Malin Street, their territory still extends all the way to 9th Street. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio, which is a massive amount of territory, throughout Magnolia, B Street, throughout Main Street, throughout H Street, I Street, J Street, K Street, Ivy, all of that, towards the Guadalupe Park. All of that is what's considered their barrio. You know what I mean? And like I said, they are, from what I was told, there's more than 100 members to them. And now, the Proyectos is considered the new bunch, right? The youngsters, the young bucks, you know what I mean? But still representing Eastside Brolin. And they're in the projects, pues, you know what I mean? Right there on C Street and 14th is where you can find their stomping grounds, their domain, their dojo. Like I said, the Eastside Brolin neighborhood is definitely, one of the neighborhoods that's well recognized right here in the Imperial Valley and continue to still represent theirs and putting theirs on the map for that ESB. Now, another neighborhood that we have in the Imperial Valley that's well recognized is if we make our way to the area that is known as El Centro. El Centro is home to a gang of neighborhoods right here. It's definitely the war zone. When people think about the Imperial Valley, this is the area where they think about, that definitely be cracking, because this area, is full of several neighborhoods, you know what I mean? So it definitely, gets on and popping in this area. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? They handle business right here. And one of the neighborhoods in this area, we actually have to head towards the east side portion of Centro, which is known as the Varrio ESC. ESC translating to Varrio East Side Centro. And Varrio East Side Centro is not as large as, like North Side Centro, South Side Centro, you know what I mean? But still, don't get it twisted. They handle business. They're not as old school as the other sets either, but they're still right here, homie, handling business. Their territory is everything that's from New Street. New Street, their territory still extends all the way to Hamilton. Hamilton to Dogwood Road. Dogwood Road back to Main Street. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio. You know what I mean? Their main domain, their stomping grounds. So that's throughout Whole, Orange, Britain, Fairfield, First Street, all of that. But their main domain, their dojo, where it goes down is on Hale Avenue. Hale Avenue. I think that's how you say it. The HSC, that's why you see it up in the graffiti, why you see it, them writing it, because that's where they're, where it be going down, right there on First, definitely be cracking in on Second, they definitely be holding it down for Eastside Centro. What I was told is that they're roughly about 70 to 80 members to them. So, pretty decent size right here in the east side. Don't get it twisted. El Centro is an area that definitely be cracking right here, well recognized in the Imperial Valley. It ain't no joke, homie. The ESC will handle business and continue to still represent theirs and putting theirs on the map.